Hey, it's Russillo and Kanell. It's ESPN Radio, and joining us now, giving you the Straight Talk, brought to you by Straight Talk Wireless. Best phones, best networks, half the cost. It is Texas Tech head coach Cliff Kingsbury. We're going to ask you about the expansion stuff, what's going on down there, because you know this conference really well. But as I was kind of going through and thinking about all the things we wanted to ask you, you start off 8-5, win that bowl game. Can that be tough? Can there be a negative to starting 8-5 your coaching career now as we enter your fourth season?
I don't know if it's a negative. I mean, you want to win right away, but it takes time to get all your pieces in place to really win at a high level. And going into year four, it's the most comfortable, confident I've been about that. But, yeah, you start off hot. Those expectations get raised pretty quickly.
With your quarterback, I love your quarterback, Patrick Mahomes. I think a lot of people are pegging him for a sleeper for the Heisman. But he's done something that I don't love. He's given up baseball. I was a baseball guy, and I was actually, Bobby Bowden called me and said, hey, I want you to be full-time football. What was that decision of having him focus on football? Did you have a lot to do with that, I'm assuming?
I did not, actually.
Did not.
He came into me when we signed Pat. We told him, hey, play both. That'd be great. And he came into me and said, hey, I want to concentrate on football. I think I can really do something special here. He'd never worked out on that level. He never studied the film, worked on his mechanics, and so he wanted to dedicate one off season with the thought that if it didn't work, he could always go back to baseball. And he put in the time this offseason, made some big strides, and I'm pretty sure it's going to pay off this fall.
When you look at guys coming out, because there's a lot of talk about, and we see this culture across youth sports where you have to focus on one. What do you look for in a guy? Like, do you like a guy who's specialized in football, or do you like guys who excel in multiple sports?
I like when they play multiple sports. I think the more you can be on different teams, understand those dynamics, compete in as many games as you compete in as many different situations, I think that can only help you up to a point. Now you get to college, it gets a little bit more difficult, but I'm sure a lot of the great athletes throughout time have played 3 or 4 sports coming up.
When you look at your defense, historically, since you've been there, before you got there, it's always struggled. With the way your mindset is offensively, does that even bother you?
No, I mean, I think you got to get better,
over.
right? You got to get better defensively. But if you look at the conference, it's not like anybody's just slowing people down, really. I mean, it's the nature of the league. When you're getting 18, 19 possessions, you're going to get yards, you're going to score points. So I think your expectation of defense has to change when you're in the Big 12. Can we get better? Yes. We need to create more turnovers, be better in the red zone. But people are going to get their yards, get their points. So it really just comes down to finding ways to win the game.
How much of it is bad defense and how much of it is great offense? Because the Big 12, as a conference, gets ripped for being bad at defense. And I've defended it some, but there's a point where there's just bad tackling, there's bad form and things.
Was that
as well.
the Tech-Oklahoma game, Oklahoma State game last year that was just –
Yeah, that was a lot of points being
I remember
scored.
Herbstreit just being like, at some point you got to tackle somebody here.
So where is that line? Like where do you stand on that? Like what needs to change?
Once again, I think there's a lot of dynamics in the Big 12. You're literally talking about 18, 19 possessions a game, 90 to 100 plays a game. Guys are going to get tired. You're not going to have enough quality bodies to put in there to tackle people, and that's the way the league's set up. So I think when you see bowl season, you see Big 12 teams playing other teams. I mean, they're scoring on everybody. So there are good offenses, but the defenses just get hurt with the amount of plays.
Cliff Kingsbury is in studio with us here. I remember I asked Stoops once, I was like, could you just get to a point like psychologically where you maybe just ready to concede 30? And he looked at me like, I was like, are you going to retire? And he's like, well, you don't want to give up any.
All right.
What are you, an idiot? The Big 12 votes this week to explore expansion. You're very close to this conference. What do you want to see happen with it in the next few years?
Yeah, I'm very PC on the answer, whatever is best financially, really, for the conference. But you don't want to force teams in there either. I think we have a very good league. We have a league that people see as one of the top 2 or 3 leagues in the country. So let's not water it down if there's not teams out there that we really desire being a part of our league. But it sounds like they're going to move forward. So whatever they need to do, they'll do.
Ryan and I led the show off talking about it, because it just came out that they approved it unanimously. They're going to look to expand. Is it frustrating for you at times? Because we were talking about it before, that the Big 12 has been kind of all over the place. Like, who wants to do what? Does that get frustrating for you from a standpoint of, hey, we just want to know?
Yeah, I think there's been a lot of back and forth, and you just really want it to be done. Like I said, I like the league the way it is. You play everybody, but if they feel it's necessary to expand, I guess we'll expand.
Do they come to you for advice, like all the coaches?
Zero.
See, that baffles me that they wouldn't come to the coaches in the conference and say, hey, what is your input? What do you think we need to do?
We have zero input on that.
I want to know how much you reached out to coaches you played for, and specifically the Belichick year, right? So you're up there, you get drafted, you're on the practice squad. Will you call him? Will you just go, you know what, I want to get a different feeling? Would you ever call him over the course of a year to ask him about coaching?
No. He'd be a hard one to get in touch with, I think. He's well insulated within that office.
For you, though? Like, he used to rave about you all the time and how smart you were. Like, he loved you.
Yeah,
when
no,
you were
he's a good guy. If I've seen him since then, and he's been very good to me, but I wouldn't call him in season. He locks it down in season now. He doesn't have time for such questions.
Do you even have to? Do you call guys in season? Do you call any of your former coaches or anybody?
Not as much, not in season. A couple of them, Coach Leach, Dana, who's here today, Coach Sumlin, we'll stay in touch, but they got their own set of issues to worry about.
Yeah, all right. I like that answer, though, because I'm just always trying to figure out, how you have that group of friends and you have the guys that get it and then the other guys that just call you too much. And then I was just always trying to figure out if there was somebody who played or coached with Belichick, where Belichick's like, hey, man, I got the Dolphins this week. Like, I don't – shut up.
I think we all know that's what he's thinking. You don't have to hear him say it, yeah.
Hey, good luck this season. I know it's your fourth one, and looking forward to things happening down in Lubbock, all right?
Thanks a lot.
That's Cliff Kingsbury as our first guest from the Big 12 today. Charlie Strong, Bob Stoops next hour. But coming up next, I'm not even sure what we decided to do.